Hi, I'm Dr. Binoy Chattuparambil, Senior Consultant Cardiac Surgeon at Health City Cayman Islands. I would like to invite you to join me and my associate Dr. Sribad Upadhyaya, Interventional Pediatric Cardiologist, for a live Twitter chat on the topic of congenital heart disease. Congenital heart disease covers many different conditions with a variety of options, and we perform regularly at Health City here.
Congenital heart disease means that heart disease is present since birth. The time the child is born, the heart disease is present. So basically the heart is defective inside the utero while the baby is formed inside the mother's womb, the heart is defective. So congenital heart disease means it's present since birth. Basically we can divide congenital heart disease into acyanotic and cyanotic. Cyanosis means blue. So acyanotic is the disease where the child is not blue, and cyanosis where the child is blue. So again, acyanotic can be divided into septal defects, that is generally called hole in the heart, and other defects like valve problem, stenosis of the valve and leakage of the valve. And in cyanotic, it's basically mixing of the good and the bad blood. So they look more blue than pink, and there are many cyanotic heart diseases which are life-threatening.
Congenital heart disease is caused by many reasons. One is the chromosomal anomalies and environmental factors like maternal infections like rubella, especially if it happens in the first trimester of pregnancy, and if the pregnant mother takes alcohol or habitual smoking, and some of the drugs if they take like the anti-epileptic medicines, phenytoin or thalidomide, and sometimes even very obesity also is one of the reasons. Is it? Some recent studies they said very obese mothers also can their offspring can come out with some congenital heart disease. So
and diabetic mothers.
Yeah, diabetic mothers. Yeah.
So when a child or a patient comes to me for evaluation of heart disease, usually the pediatrician, the primary pediatrician refers saying that I hear a murmur, that is an extra sound in the stethoscope, or the child is blue, not growing well. So when I see in the clinic, I perform initial tests like saturation, that is the oxygen level, and the vitals like the pulse rate and the heart and ECG. These are initial tests. Once it is done, the confirmatory test is called the echocardiography, that is the ultrasound of the heart, where I perform, it's done with an ultrasound machine, and various techniques we use, the Doppler method, the 2D mode methods. So the definitive test is the echocardiography, and if we are not sure of the complete diagnosis, then we go ahead with CT, cardiac CT scan, and or we may require an MRI of the heart. Basically, as I said, these diseases are present since birth. So we can divide into critically ill and a chronic presentation. So some cyanotic heart diseases present at birth, within the weeks of birth. They can present with life-threatening conditions, severe cyanosis, breathing difficulty, and some diseases present later in the life with not growing well, repeated infections, pneumonias, and it has a varied presentation.
As Dr. Sribad told, mostly it's a surgical correction, but now recently because of the technology advances, a lot of this minimally invasive and interventional. See, if you look at 20 years back, almost all congenital heart disease was treated by surgery, but now if you look at like PDA, there is an abnormal connection between the pure blood and impure blood. It is almost more than 90% is treated by intervention without any surgery, and the holes in the between the two left and right side of the heart the upper chambers almost all, very rarely surgically corrected. Mostly it's done by cardiologists like Dr. Sripad. And even some of the complex holes also now slowly started getting treated by interventional cardiologists by devices without open surgery. And the other recent advance is this hybrid concept actually, because between cardiologists and cardiac surgeons joined together in a hybrid, that is very sophisticated cath lab where we can do surgery as well as we can do this intervention. So instead of making it very complicated procedure, it will make it, because interventional cardiologists will close or divide some of the procedure structures, and the surgeons will do the what is absolutely required for the surgical part too. So this makes very complex surgery that was done maybe 20 years back now makes much easier, and the outcome is much better, and the hospital stay, complexity, the mortality, morbidity, everything is much better. So it is advancing very fast.
Congenital heart disease can be treated with initially a medical therapy. We control symptoms with medicines, and then when it's the right time for the intervention or the complete treatment, we have options. Majority of the heart diseases are treated by surgery. It's a open heart or closed heart surgery, and now there is a growing this of minimally invasive treatment where we do it in the cath lab with a minimally invasive method. We go from the groin and then treat various kinds of heart disease like hole in the heart and valve tightness with a device or a balloon. So we have two treatment options, that is surgical and non-surgical, minimally invasive. No, basically CHD has the incidence has remained the same. It's around 6 to 8 per 1,000 live births throughout. There is not much variation in the incidence. Untreated CHDs can present with, as I said, it's not treated at the right time. The child can present with growth failure, not growing well, and repeated infections, and then usually it culminates in death, early death, premature death. So again, it can be divided into critically ill and non-critically. Critically ill, if you don't treat it early enough, they can die as an infant or a baby. There are some chronic diseases which, if not treated at appropriate time, can go in for a kind of severe life disabilities and they can't even perform normal routine activity, and then they'll have a premature death. Yes, it only in very few percentage of cases. Mostly it is not hereditary. Around 80 to 90% are non-hereditary. Around only 10% are hereditary.
We are offering surgery for almost all congenital heart problems. We started 6 months back. We have done nearly Dr. Sripad has done interventional treatment for almost 8-9 pediatric patients, and I have done around 6 patients. So all varieties we have done quite good number of treatment, surgical and interventional for congenital heart diseases so far with very good outcome. Following surgery, most important thing is a regular follow-up, at least in the beginning, few months and years, and definitely at the first few months they will require some medical treatment, some tablets and basically medicines. And as you are aware, some of these treatment options are permanent, you can cure, but some of them are kind of palliative, so they should be regularly under the follow-up, may require second surgery, some of them require the third surgery. So the whatever is cured, it's cured after a few follow-ups. They can be their own without any. Is it true? No.
Most of them require follow-ups. Even when we say it's completely cured, at least in the initial 5 to 6 years, regular follow-up is a must. And as Dr. Binoy said, some of the surgeries are palliative, so they need to be on a long-term follow-up. and also they may require to take some few medicines, so they should be on a follow-up.
What kind of life they expect depends on what type of disease they had and what type of surgery or intervention we offered. Just now Dr. Sripas told, if it is a palliative treatment, they may not have a normal quality of life, but like the holes or the PDA, whatever way it was treated, they can have near normal life. But it depends on how complex the disease was and how complex the surgery. It can vary.
I invite you to join us and share your experience and questions with us on Thursday, Feb 12th at 2 p.m. EST.